Prehistoric Kingdom's Update 17 has just arrived for public testing, and I have to say, it's even more exciting than I thought. We've got new animals, controls, and some major system overhauls. Let's start with a brand new dinosaur being added. Brand new to Prehistoric Kingdom is not one, but two new Stegosaurus species. We've got the Stegosaurus stenops and the Stegosaurus ungulatus. What's the difference? The latter has slightly longer hind legs and more pointed plates, among other things. On paper, just two animals doesn't sound hugely exciting, but the Stegosaurus really adds some more flexibility to your exhibits and brings another hugely famous dinosaur to the roster. But the real focus of this update isn't the animals, it's staff management, which has been completely overhauled. This update brought with it staff Workzones, and this is absolutely huge for the game. Now you can assign staff to specific areas of your park manually, meaning your keepers, vets and maintenance workers are no longer just randomly wandering around. They'll now stay within their designated zones to handle tasks more locally to their facilities. This solves one of PK's biggest issues previously, staff taking absolutely ages to respond to problems on the other side of the park. Now, how you've laid out your park with different staff facilities in different areas for each collection of animals directly impacts your park's efficiency. This actually ties into the second huge staff change, which is promotions and morale. Staff will now have 3 promotion levels, each unlocking different base skills and a veteran skill that can be upgraded by the player. After each shift, they gain XP. They can be trained from staff centres, adding proper progression to the game. More importantly, now the staff have needs. If workloads are too high or they don't have a break room provided, morale will drop and their performance will be impacted. So staff aren't really characters in the background anymore. Now you actually get to manage them properly, adding that layer of depth. This comes along with some new training related additions to the management research tree. Going hand in hand with the upgrades to staff, logistics has been entirely reworked to be more understandable and usable for us. This is probably going to be one of the most underrated changes in the entire update, so it's really important it gets the light it deserves. Instead of resources just sort of existing in the back of your park, you must now manually place orders at loading bays. The number of trucks you have determines your capacity, and can automatically repeat orders for up to 1 year. At one time you can only place 4 orders, so logistics is becoming something much more hands-on and strategic. As well as that, the compost system has been reworked to a much more essential part of the game. Now you absolutely need to have compost to be able to produce animal feed, meaning dung, compost and feeding are all linked together properly. You also no longer need to have a compost heap to collect dung. To support all of this, there's a brand new logistics view which lets you track resource demand, usage and transfer across your entire park. It's one of those really nice UI additions that doesn't sound exciting in the slightest, but it will make a massive difference once you start using it. Another relatively subtle but really impactful change brought in is the improvements in guest satisfaction. Previously, the guest happiness was just kind of an average of needs ticking down, which meant it felt much more like reacting just to problems. So, now, satisfaction is based more on accessibility and distance. Instead of just fighting issues that arise, your park's design can have a much more impactful position. Pathing, park layout, and the placement of your facilities now directly influence your guest satisfaction, again making building a lot more meaningful. The thing that I'm most excited about isn't animal combat. That isn't actually available in the public beta, so we'll leave that out for the minute. I'm most excited for the water rendering overhaul. I'm so excited about the massive improvements to water rendering. This was the biggest upgrade visually. There's better surface detail, new underwater visuals, and better lighting effects. The update log has some really cool words like surface tessellation, volumetric underwater rendering, and caustics that I added to sound intelligent. Basically, water looks a whole lot more realistic and variable. With a click of your mouse, you can directly repaint water types, completely changing lakes and rivers without having to rebuild them. It's super easy to experiment with all the different types that you might want for the enclosures, like lagoon, river, dystrophic, and muddy. This is sort of a quality of life upgrade that makes the game look so much better in the process. Speaking of visuals, there has been a huge expansion to Scrubland Foliage. We've got new plants like lavender, juniper, and various Mediterranean style vegetation. This gives you way more variety when you build your habitats, especially for these dry environments, where previously our options are kind of lacking. As well as that, we've had some small but useful additions to the game's UI. The management view has been expanded with things like a new staff assignments tab, and improved sorting and search functions for both staff and animals. We even have a new move animals tool. Yes, plural. You can relocate multiple animals at once, which is a feature that we've wanted for a while. Also, you get more control over your notifications, with the new ability to completely toggle certain ones off. This is great if your screen is usually flooded with alerts because you're enacting a rigorous undo my debt policy. Even smaller touches like a swim preview for animals or vivarium animation polishes helps make the game experience just feel that bit better. In terms of balance, we've had quite a few adjustments. Now, the early game is more forgiving, with an increase in starting funds. Meanwhile, mid-game progression has been slightly slowed. They raised profit tax and upkeep costs for high security fences. It's a really nice shift because getting established is a lot easier, and the difficulty starts to curve to keep the game challenging as your park grows. Animals themselves have also seen a lot of behind the scenes improvements too. They've got better locomotion and more accurate positioning. They also have improved decision making with the AI and more detailed disease systems, all contributing to make them feel more believable, and less janky, because that can be an issue at times. It's important to note that this public testing beta version doesn't include combat, one of Update 17's headline features. For that, we're probably going to have to wait a little bit. So this update has brought a bunch of changes to systems that were previously quite passive, and it helps to make the game feel so much more complete. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm sorry about this video's delay, but I'll see you in the next one. Bye!